Hey guys, how's it going? Hobo Yeti here. I'm in my tent, uh, trying to survive the cold weather. It's basically getting down to mid 40s during the day, low to mid 30s at night. Got down to 34 last night, uh, and stayed that way until about 8 o'clock. Not great. Um, Not my favorite. Luckily, I have a very old friend who uh, donated some cash, threw some cash my way in order to get, you know, this jacket, fur-lined hoodie type thing, and sleeping bag, um, sleeping mat, stuff like that, so I wouldn't die. Um, Dying's bad, and being in this kind of temperature, it's survivable, but it's freaking exhausting. Like, you can wake up and eat something, that gets the inside workings a little bit warmer. You can wake up and do sit-ups. You can pee in a bottle, I guess. That keeps you warm for a little bit. Just don't mistake it for your yellow Gatorade flavor. Um, there are things that you can do to keep warm, but honestly, when it gets down to the 30s, nothing really helps but a good sleep system. And like last week, I went to, uh, I wasn't expecting that donation, so I was trying to figure it out. I heard about this cold front that was hitting the West Coast. Um, Saw the temperatures. Like my 10-day forecast went from 43 or 44 at night to 31, and that was just scary. I went to the pantry and picked up. I was trying to get anything I could, sleeping bag, something, a better jacket. They didn't have anything this time of year. I went Monday morning, like at 9 o'clock, thinking if I got there first, but no, nothing. All they had was a few like crocheted throw rugs. They had I picked up and I picked those up because when you ain't got nothing, you do what you can. And then I got like a bathroom mat. It's like 2 feet by 2 feet, I guess, with the rubberized bottom, bright pink, yay. Um, and what I did was I put those on top of my camping pad, my blue crappy Walmart camping pad, which is good for temperatures above 55. Uh, but the ground gets really cold and stays cold and absorbs your warmth. No good. And so I put those down there, and that really helped out when it got down to low 40s. I was able to kind of cocoon myself. I wasn't really able to stretch out in my 30-degree bag, but I was able to, uh, kind of cocoon myself in it. They also did provide me with. I was able to pick up some tarps. Um, I got a brown tarp, which is a 5x7. I don't know what kind of good that does me. So I just hung it up across the way. I've got the one tarp that I have is at a 45-degree angle over my tent, and then I put this brown one like this to kind of create a wall against the wind and help with my camouflage. And then they got me a blue tarp that's supposed to be 8x10. It's actually an 8x8. I don't know how a company can continue making tarps that are perpetually the wrong size. Like they just shave off. I don't know. They shave off stuff like that. They shave off, uh, ends and make them not the right size. But that's pretty much the norm with the cheaper tarps you get at Walmart or whatever. Um, and so even quality tarps that I've bought have been at least a little off, 5 or 6 inches. It's crazy. I don't know how a company can continue that way, but whatever. The blue tarp I've got up here, it's I went ahead and put that over my tent underneath my rain tarp, basically. And the blue tarp, it remains rolled up above the front of my tent. This tent is technically water resistant, waterproof. It's like a four-weather tent, a four-season tent. And so, I don't really have to worry about condensation as much. and it's got like what is it, like mesh, so it breathes a little bit. And so um, anyway, I put that tarp on the outside, and at night or when I want to warm up, I'll roll it down the front, and it really, it cuts about 10 degrees, I guess, off the current temperature. It increases it, um, and really, there's been times anyway, it helps out. The only problem with it is that the inside of the tarp becomes like coated in water, the condensation. And so when I roll it up at night or to go to the bathroom or something, like it completely like drips, this cold, nasty water all over me. But it's worth it, honestly. Having that on here is worth it. It really helps maintain a better temperature inside. So I got a donation from, like I said, an old friend, and I was able to get a jacket. I was able to get a 10-degree bag, which is freaking awesome. And then I was able to get a memory foam. I got a queen size memory foam, and then I cut it in half lengthwise. Sorry. When you're kind of living in a tent, it's important to be aware at all times of any sounds. Like I'm pretty much aware of the normal sounds, 100 feet in any direction. But if you hear something weird, voices or animals or whatever, like they got a pack of coyotes that roam over there, sometimes they come near. I try to be really good about not keeping any food um, where they can get it or where they can smell it and create problems. Um, but the memory foam stacked up like that really absorbs warmth in a really good way and really keeps me warm with all the other stuff. I've got my 10-degree bag, and then I've got my 30-degree bag, which I use to kind of as a shell for it. And I can scoot it to, the 10-degree bag is a mummy bag. I don't use it like I'm supposed to. I like the foot box, but I have it kind of covering me, and the memory foam underneath, and there's another sleeping bag on top of the memory foam. And then I can kind of shift the 30-degree bag back and forth, depending if I need, to cool, have, basically you put it over your head so you're not breathing in that cold air all night. Or sometimes I'll shift it further down if my feet are really cold for some reason. I picked up a couple of hot hands. Everything's much more expensive than what it used to be even a couple of years ago. Like doubly expensive, crazy. I've been out of food or food stamps for about 2 weeks now. Got about another week to go. I went to the pantry and picked up, like 15, 18 cans of food, mixed vegetables and green beans and stuff. Man, I was really disappointed when I opened up the mixed vegetables, which has a picture of, vegetables, peas and green beans and corn and carrots and potatoes. And then I opened it up, and all it had at the top was like carrots, which, whatever. And then I kept digging down. I was like, oh, potatoes. So maybe it's like layered. Maybe it's sedimentary, whatever. So I kept on digging down, and so I couldn't dig down too much. I wanted to mix it up, but I couldn't dig down too much because it was slosh over. So I ate about half of it, and then I started digging down at the bottom, and basically it was all, this is Del Monte, man. It was all white potatoes and carrots. I think there was like 3 peas in the whole thing. No green beans, no other stuff. Pretty gross. But the thing is right now I just need stuff to get me through, right? To like get food stamps again, and that fills a quota. I did before I ran out of my last $10 of food stamps. I went and bought a big thing of wintergreen mints, which I'm now out of, because when all you have is like cans of soup and crap, what else are you gonna eat? So the mints, those are gone. I also bought a big box of granola bars. Um, Working my way through that. Hopefully that'll get me through till next Wednesday, and here and there I've been able to get a like a discounted bread um, package or something, and I've still got I've got change now. I could do like if if like at one point they had overcooked like a lot of bread at Walmart, and so the stuff that was normally $1 was like 26 cents. So hopefully they'll have that again this weekend, so I can have bread with my nasty soup or corn or whatever I'm going to eat. But it's something, and it's better than nothing. I could go down to the thing is, a lot of pantries and stuff, they're not open on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday a lot of times. Um, but like, I'd like to go down to, I guess the pantry down there. There's a lot of different pantries. They all have weird hours. Um, but I'll hit one and maybe get some decent food for the day. Sometimes like pizzas or bread are donated. When instead of putting them on discount, they'll just give them to a local shelter. And so hopefully they'll have something like that. I just really need carbs, um, and something different, something to go with my can of nasty condensed soup or whatever, or peas or green beans. But it's something, and it's better than nothing, and I'm really grateful for that. But let's see. I did work on a video that, so I did the audio separately. It was how to find a homeless stealth camp, kind of like what I'm in. Because typically you can just, in Portland or in the Northwest, you can just kind of throw your tent down wherever you want, and they may give you a notice and tell you to move your tent, and then just move it down the road or whatever. I don't like doing that. I like developing sort of a place, and I don't like being around other homeless people because they're not all created equal, just like most of humanity. Homeless people have different, like there are folks like me who just like to kind of go off on their own and still maintain a little bit of civility, or civilized sort of type setup or appearance. And there are those who don't ever shower, don't ever change, don't ever try to better themselves, and that's their thing. Maybe they're alcoholics, maybe they're tweakers, maybe they're drug addicts or something. Maybe they got schizophrenia, like the guy down here. Um, you know, I'm not one to judge, but at the same time, I'm not going to immerse myself in that culture. Um, there's just I've met a lot of them, and to me, there's just a lot of homelessness, or not homelessness, helplessness. They're like, okay, I can't get out of the situation I'm in. I've got this disability or something, and I can't. It doesn't get better. It doesn't. I'm not able to get it better, and so they just live off the streets. And I understand that to an extent because sometimes there's no options, but a lot of times it's about choices, right? And you could make 100 right choices in your life and make one wrong one, and then you pay for that. Like, you can't get out of that. Like, I made a choice to, um, you know, well, I don't even know if it was a choice. Had some serious depression and super sadness and all that, and like I wanted to kill myself. It was that bad, and so instead of doing that, I just, my car was on its last leg, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be homeless, right, and deal with that, and that way I don't have to be, it was a way of going forward, but it was, looking back, it wasn't the best decision. I wouldn't say it was be the worst, but since then I've been homeless. Um, chronically homeless in a sense that I can't seem to get back on my feet. I've received help from people who've given me cash donations, and that has helped. But sometimes you just get stuck and can't get out of that. Like, I came here to Portland in the hopes of getting back on my feet, but the job market is not what it was. And it's not great right now, but I can wait it out. Um, I'm not going to starve. I can eat. Uh, I can live. Um, and basically, my choice with that is just to get through another day. Some days I have real bad depression. When I say I have depression, um, I just want to clarify this one more time because I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, "Well, I've been depressed too," and there's clinical depression, and then there's being depressed. There's being sad and unhappy. Those two are not the same. It's kind of like uh, being having OCD, like obsessive compulsive disorder. I know somebody that has that, and they take medication for it, right? Uh, but we don't go up to them and be like, you just need to stop being so anal retentive. You know what I mean? It's just they're not. It's a disorder. It's a brain dysfunction, right? Same thing with like you know clinical depression. It's a brain disorder. So I can be happy and have depression. I can also be sad and have depression. Sometimes those two go together or trigger one another. But you know, it's happened to me several times in my life. People that I thought understood that there was such a thing as depression, as in clinical depression. When I talk about depression, when I use that word, I never mean sad. What is going on over there? I never mean sad. When I talk about depression, I'm talking about serotonin, dopamine, whatever it is. And I can feel it. I can feel it. Like some days I'll be in a depressive funk, right? Like, and then I'll go out and buy an energy drink just because I need that energy for that day or whatever. And then somehow that uses up the rest of the serotonin in my brain, the dopamine, whatever it is. And after that, I need to just be alone and lay down because I don't feel like going forward at all. But anyway, I'm surviving right now. My life is pretty much go to the library, come back to my tent, do some, watch some TikTok or some Instagram reels. I actually don't like the TikTok. Maybe it's my age, but I don't really like the TikTok thing. I got hooked on the Instagram reels because I was already doing Instagram, and you got the reels, and then as soon as you like a few things, the algorithm is more tailored to you. I listen to a lot of female singers that have great voices, uh, Ali Sherlock or Natalie Jennings or something like that, and that just kind of helps me. I get to the point I'll be at the library charging, uh, my devices and filling up on water because they got one of those water dispenser things, um, and so um, I'll be charging. I'll be getting online, and I'll just look up, and suddenly I feel like a normal person for a little bit, and that's important. I also last month I had like $11, so I got the Kindle Unlimited uh, deal, which is kind of a subscription thing, um, but you can cancel it anytime, right? What I do with it is I just look for audiobooks because I can do the reading thing, which is fine. There's a couple books I'm in the middle of too, but for the most part, I will look for books that are on audio, even if they're, I've listened to, romance, fiction, just stuff that I normally wouldn't listen to. But it's important to have a good attitude when you're in the situation, especially when, the thing is when you're homeless, you're closer to rock bottom than anybody else, right? Some say, well, you're at rock bottom, but I don't look at it that way. I look at it, I'm close to rock bottom. If somebody stole my tent or my gear, which has happened before, that's rock bottom. Then you're in a spot, right? Um, but living in a tent, it has its challenges, sure, but it's not terrible. I can get it back on my feet. Right now, I'm having a real issue with bathing and things like that because it is so freaking cold. I mean, when I pour the water into my little tub deal, and get my washcloth in there and start, and then my clothes, I'm not able to really do laundry and stuff. Um, uh, and bathing, I'm wearing like several layers at all times. Um, so basically I do once a week, I do a full bathing thing. The thing is, when you're doing the hobo bath, like, and once I get the food stamps, I'll be able to pick up some lemons and some more baking soda. Those are really great for eliminating odors and for bathing. But like I've got some dirty clothes that what I've done so far is I'll put them in a dry bag and I'll shake some baking soda over them and then shake it up and just leave them, and hopefully that'll get rid of some odors. Once I get the thing is you can't really do laundry out here. It takes things just don't dry. Um, Nothing, and so they just stay wet. You can hang them out; they stay wet forever. So um, I haven't done any laundry. I've been trying to just deodorize things, and um, I do that once a week, full, take off most of my clothes and bathe and scrub real hard, and then the rest of the week, about once or twice a week, I will just get the basics right: my head, my face, my pits, and my bits, and my feet. But anyway. Um, Yeah, things are going okay. It's a sunny day, but it's cold. It's not going to get over 40 today, or 44 or something. Anyway, um, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about the job situation yet. Really, I'm waiting until this. I'm waiting until next week. Honestly, it's hard to think when it's this cold. Um, it's hard to plan for anything. I mean, normally I can get in my tent and start working on stuff on my phone or whatever, but it's to the point where I have to basically be bundled up to stay warm. I have to be bundled up in my tent, in my covers, in my bag, and that's the only way to get really warm. Um, but I'm surviving, and I'm super thankful for Teresa for sending me that cash to get, to survive this. I mean, I guess I could have survived it with the 30-degree bag that I have. It would be been one of those things where you kept yourself up all night doing exercises and eating different things and trying to figure out, but it's never a comfortable sleep. And then usually during the day when it warms up, then you can sleep. But then it's not a way to live in this sort of situation. When you're homeless, you're pretty much a sun up to sundown, maybe a little after kind of person, and at night that's time for sleeping. Um, but I'm gonna head to the library today and get loaded up, and I've actually got kind of a weekend planned, which is pretty cool. Um, I haven't really done much socializing. I've got a few friends in the area um, that I haven't seen in ages, and I would like to see them, but um, like right now, I feel like I have some odor control issues. I don't really think I do unless you get real close. But I try to wash and stuff like that. But I don't really want to get together with people that I've seen or knew or hang out. When I don't have any cash to contribute to, going out to eat or something, or B, uh, feel like I'm not really clean. And so I'll do that down the road. But let's see, I've got uh sorry. um but I'm going Saturday, so tomorrow I'm gonna head down to Portland. I was able to put a little bit of money on my bus card, and I haven't been about to Portland since I got back, so I'm gonna go to Portland and go to downtown, and basically I'm writing a novel, and so I don't know if I'm going to be any good, but I'd like to get everything right with that, and that means places, locations, and uh, the beginning of the book takes part in that waterfront area of Portland, and we'll go from there to the different places I've traveled in the United States. since it's kind of a traveling gypsy road kind of thing. Um, and I Marco Polo'd a friend and see if he'd be willing to meet me for then. I know the other friend lives in Wilsonville, maybe Wilsonboro, Wilsonville. I think it's Wilsonville. And I haven't seen him in a long time. I would like to, but that's like I know that the one lives in Portland, so and the other one, the one in Wilsonville's got a family and stuff, so I don't know. But I'm going to do that on tomorrow, and then Sunday, I'm going to go to church, actually. For those of you who don't know, I am what you would consider a heretic, the Hobo heretic. I'm a progressive Christian. I don't like the word Christian, so say believer. Progressive is the route that I choose to go, though. I don't really mesh with the whole fundamentalist crowd and the Bible's inerrancy and all that stuff, and that's just kind of crazy to me. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, a lot of churches are LGBTQIA blah blah blah, and I'm cool with that. I'm affirming and all that, but like I've seen a couple of churches online that's all they talk about, and I would like something a little bit more open-ended than that. So we'll see. It's about 2 miles down the road. There's no buses to get there, but I'm gonna check it out anyway because I don't know. I would just like to interact with people on a interpersonal level. Marco Polo is great, or doing videos is fine, but I don't really interact with anybody, and so I kind of miss that. So I got a whole weekend to go, and then Monday I guess I'll head back to the library, charge up. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of a charge left at that point, and then life is good. And then Tuesday is the 31st, Halloween, and then Wednesday I get my food stamps and I can get something to eat that doesn't suck. I hope your road is a good one. I hope your homeless experience doesn't suck. Just remember, attitude's everything. Do whatever you have to do to maintain a good attitude if you're in a homeless situation, to avoid that helplessness feeling. For me, it's audiobooks, but there's a lot of different stuff. There's different things you can download to your phone. You don't have to have, and the good thing about the library is free Wi-Fi, unlimited. You can load up on water. A lot of them have those water dispensers, and you can charge your devices. I charge my devices, and I've got four battery backups. One of them really sucks, but I charge it anyway. And I charge up my phones, and usually that gets me a couple of days. So keeps me sane. Hobo Yeti, signing off.